Hey everybody, so let's talk about it. African Americans, including slaves and free individuals, played a central role in building these here United States. Their contributions span economic, cultural, political, and social dimensions, and it shaped the foundation and evolution of this nation despite its oppression towards us. The economic foundations of America was built on enslaved labor, starting with agriculture and the plantation economy. Cotton, tobacco, rice, sugar, enslaved Africans were pivotal in cultivating the cash crops by the 19th century. Cotton production was over half of the U.S. exports, fueling both domestic and industrial global industries. Yeah. Trade and development, African Americans are the ones that literally drain the swamps, since we talk about draining the swamps. Enslaved labor literally drained the swamps, cleared forests, transformed wilderness into farmland, and expanded the agricultural frontier. Industrial growth and trade, shipping and infrastructure. Slaves and free built infrastructure like ports, warehouses, railroads, ensuring the smooth flow of goods domestically and internationally. Textile mills and the northern industrial industry relied heavily on cotton being supplied by slave labor, which helped connect and link the economies of the North and the South. So let's talk about how we build infrastructure and urban centers. Talk about skilled labor, enslaved and free. African Americans were skilled artisans, carpenters, masons, blacksmiths. They constructed iconic buildings. For example, the White House, the U.S. Capitol, and other national landmarks. Let's talk about transportation that African Americans and enslaved labor built. The nation's railroads, canals, and roadways. They laid the groundwork for America's transportation system. Who built cities? African Americans also performed the backbreaking labor that was required for urban expansion to contribute into the growth of cities like New York, Charleston, and New Orleans. Let's talk about it. Since other people have built this country, let's talk about cultural contribution, music and art. And I think we know how far-reaching that is. African Americans have brought rich traditions and music, dance, oral storytelling, spoken word, poetry. All these influences they evolved into distinctly American art forms. Blues, jazz, gospel, rock, and yes, hip hop. We did sing country music too, yeah. For those who are talking about we don't belong there, it started with a black person. But anyway, we also introduced staples, foods, techniques that are now integral to American cuisine. The gumbo that some people like to eat, the barbecue, the soul food. Yeah, that came from black people. Our oral traditions of storytelling of African cultures enriched American folklore and later inspired writers like Frederick Douglass, Langston Hughes, Phyllis Wheatley, and I'm sure many others. There are many people who have contributed to the success and the running of this country. There are many African Americans who have contributed even with their resistance to slavery. So let's talk about that. Through the rebellions and escape efforts and abolitionist movements and activisms, African Americans actively resisted slavery and worked toward a more equitable society post-emancipation and the Civil War. African Americans led in building efforts and contributed to political reconstruction, holding public offices, and advocating for civil rights, including the rights of the people who claimed that they built this land. We were in labor movements. African Americans were in interior and exterior labor movements, particularly during the industrial area, advocating for workers' rights and social justice. In short, the United States was... African Americans are much of the economic power that the United States holds, from culture to infrastructure. Our contributions, particularly enslaved individuals, which is why folks want reparations. But anyway, despite being denied recognition and basic human rights, we have played an indispensable, pivotal, critical role in building this here nation, leaving a legacy of resilience, creativity, and influence, including the potato chips that you all enjoy so very much. Your Ajax and your mop, yeah, we did that. The stoplight, the elevator doors, we did that. I could go on and on and on and on with the iron board and all of the medical and the medicine and the things that we have done to help save lives around these here parts. So yeah, the only thing we didn't create is the Copyright Office, because somebody else beat us to that so they could steal all of our inventions, and then everyone can sit around and talk about how they built this country. All the people who really know the truth can just sit back and laugh, because I'd be happy to help you rewrite history as long as it's the right history, because I don't know what it is some of you guys be talking about. I'm sympathetic to your plight and everything, but yeah, you didn't build America. Have you contributed? Absolutely. Did you build it? Absolutely not.